Urgent news, guys. There's been a serious recall for Spam Classic. Anybody eat Spam? I mean, I know I get a lot of Spam in my inbox, but seriously, are people eating Spam nowadays? What is going on with the food supply? It's like every single day, every other day, I hear news about food recalls and other health concerns. It's like many of these food producers have zero oversight or any concern about the products that they're putting on store shelves. And things are definitely affecting shoppers. Then, of course, there's news about the missing fighter jet that they had to ask for help from the public for. Are you guys serious? Like, did you hear about that one? So yeah, US fighter jet went missing for like 24 whole hours. So they had to send out a tweet asking for the public to kind of help find it. It's like putting up signs on trees like you lost your dog or something like that. Unbelievable. But more on that later. So first, about this whole Spam Classic recall, guys. So they're calling it a public health alert, but I don't really see much of a difference if you ask me. So yeah, the US Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, they're now urging consumers not to eat certain cans of Spam Classic that was shipped to the H-E-B stores in Texas. Now it says here that the FSIS issued a public alert or public health alert, not a recall. There's a big difference between the two, due to underprocessing, right? And that a recall wasn't issued because authorities believe it is no longer available for purchase, meaning it's pretty much all been sold by now. Heck, for all we know, people have already consumed it. So the 12-ounce canned meat was made by Hormel Foods Corporation Services, LLC, on August the 17th. The meat subject to the alert has a best by August 2026 date and a lot code of A08173 printed on the bottom of the can. It also has the establishment number EST 199 inside the USDA mark of inspection like this. Now they're saying that the dangerous Spam was only sold to HEB, but I will go ahead and double check just to make sure, no matter what grocery store you happen to shop at, Costco, Walmart, Kroger, whatever the case is, Aldi's. Anyway, thankfully, so far, we haven't heard of any reports of illnesses due to the underprocessing. So that much is good news. But you should hear how they kind of phrase it. So the firm reported that they had inadvertently shipped products that may not have been adequately processed to reach commercial sterility. Goodness knows what kind of state those cans of contaminated Spam are in now. And they're just there, sitting there, waiting in people's pantries and refrigerators, waiting to be eaten. So I guess they might possibly spread whatever sicknesses might develop in it. Yeah. So yeah, you might want to make sure you check your cans, check your foods, guys. I'm just saying, spread the word to other people who might eat Spam. I don't eat Spam. I'm just putting it out there for those who do. But in case you have any of this Spam that they mentioned in the recall, health alert, or whatever you want to call it, you should just throw it away or return it to wherever you bought it from. You can also contact Hormel Foods Consumer Engagement Team. They left a phone number here. It's 800-523-4635, or you can hit them up on their email or their website. For some people, they trust the USDA as they trust whatever comes out of every politician's mouth worldwide. So not a lot. It's just a whole lot of political theatrics continuing for a lot of people. That's why they always advertise preparing accordingly for, whenever stuff hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I'm no prepper myself personally, but I wouldn't say no to keeping a little bit extra food in the pantry for a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? A little bit extra cash, guns and ammo. I'm just saying. Keeping updated with the news certainly helps too. So I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to the channel and make sure to keep that notification bell turned on. That way you don't have to worry about missing out on any important information like this. And if you guys appreciate the content and the work that goes into each and every one of these videos, do your boy a favor, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate your support. So definitely makes a difference. Some other big names that have recently announced major food recalls, particularly in New York State, you got Kraft Heinz cheese, Hillshire Farm sausages, and Conagra Brands chicken strips. For Kraft Heinz, it's their Kraft Singles American processed cheese slices. I kind of grew up on those. Anyway, kind of take the little plastic wrapper off. Anyway, 83,800 cases of individually wrapped cheese slices. In an issue that developed with one of the company's wrapping machines, it caused the machine to make a thin strip of film that may remain on the slices after being unwrapped. And the film could cause a choking or gagging hazard. I met some ladies over the years who told me that they didn't have a gag reflex, so maybe they're good. So anyway, the product should be returned to the store of purchase for a refund or exchange. Details here: 16-ounce Kraft Singles American pasteurized prepared cheese product, UPC of 021-000-615261, with a best when used by date of 10 January 24 through 27 January 2024. Anyway, Hillshire Farms sausage recalled approximately 15,876 pounds of smoked sausage products. Now, apparently, the products may have contained bone fragments, and these were produced on June 14, 2023, and shipped to stores in New York State, as well as California, Maryland, New Mexico, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Details: 14-ounce Hillshire Farms smoked sausage made with pork, turkey, and beef. Conagra Brands Incorporated, specifically their Banquet brand frozen chicken strips entree, 245,366 pounds of frozen chicken strips entrees may contain pieces of plastic in it. Products were produced on June 20th, 2023, July 11th, 2023, and July 17th, 2023. The entrees were sold in New York and nationwide. Now, have you guys noticed the number of food recalls for Trader Joe's shoppers? Last week, the grocery chain recalled the Texas Tamale Company's gourmet black bean tamales because the label didn't list milk as an ingredient, which is one of the 9 major allergens. That's a big oversight. And one of those tamales are just the latest of 6 recalled products since July. Earlier this summer, 2 types of cookies were pulled off shelves because they may contain rocks. I can't make this stuff up, folks. Insects were found in the unexpected broccoli cheddar soup. Fully cooked falafel was also potentially contaminated with rocks, and multigrain crackers were recalled due to potential metal contaminations. Yeah, all of this in the span of like 3 months. And if you notice, these recalls, they're primarily related to physical contamination instead of pathogens or what they call any type of intentional sabotage or intent. They say that the cause is likely that these items are not being inspected at the same levels or with the proper use of technologies that are intended to catch and prevent these items from being contaminated in the first place. So what do you guys think about this? Like, does this make you feel better about plastics, rocks, and maybe even insects being in your food? Yeah, me either. But let me go ahead and flash the list for you guys real quick, just in case you have some of this stuff in your pantry and don't even know it. You might want to share this with someone else just in case they have something in their pantry too. Maybe your friend, your brother, your mom, your grandmother. I'm just saying, feel free to pause this video and take a screenshot, do whatever you got to do. But let me go ahead and read it out real quick. So Texas Tamale Company, gourmet black bean tamales, Trader Joe's multigrain crackers with sunflower and flax seeds, Trader Joe's fully cooked falafel, Trader Joe's unexpected broccoli cheddar soup. I guess it really was unexpected, wasn't it? Trader Joe's almond windmill cookies, Trader Joe's dark chocolate chunk and almond cookies. Trader Joe's isn't entirely to blame. Food safety experts say that Trader Joe's recalls are more of a supply chain issue than the fault of the actual grocery store. But it sucks for them because it's still, Trader Joe's being kind of associated with it, but at least it's not their fault. Quote, "It appears that these recalls have involved a variety of products across different suppliers, so consumers shouldn't be more worried about Trader Joe's products in relation to other foods purchased at other stores." End quote, according to Brian Ronholm, director of food policy at Consumer Reports, told Very Well in an email. Now, experts also suggest checking any products that you've purchased at Trader Joe's just to be safe and contacting the store if anything seems a little off. It just bears mentioning that when we purchase these ready-to-eat foods, or those they call commercially packaged goods, we're buying heavily manufactured, heavily processed items that could possibly include items and steps from multiple locations. And so this means that this supposed convenience comes with the added reality that food safety failures along the way during the item's journey from farms to forks, they're more likely to happen. And it's not just at Trader Joe's that this is happening either. It's the same thing with Costco, I heard. So Costco is listed among the top retail stores in the world with nearly 119 million cardholders. In fact, I'm one of them. Now, with this big of an operation, they've had some pretty big mishaps along the supply chain as well. Not necessarily their fault, but still. From food poisoning scares to foreign materials present in packaging or products that simply just taste a little off. I mean, let's go ahead and go through the list real quick. So number 1, you got Kirkland's signature organic strawberries. In March of 2023, giant bags of frozen fruit were pulled from Costco's shelves as a part of a current and ongoing nationwide hepatitis A outbreak linked to strawberries. 9 people became sick, and they also had concerns about potentially spreading the contagious liver disease. 2, You got Foster Farms breaded chicken patties. Back in 2022, pieces of hard, sharp plastic shards were potentially mixed in with the patties. The recall was assigned as a class 1, meaning that the risk of injury or even death was considered medium to high for consumers if the plastic shard was accidentally swallowed. Not a good look. Imagine pooping that out. Ugh. Number 3, Pescanova Shrimp Street Tacos. Those who bought their favorite frozen taco mix between the months of March and April of 2023, they found themselves headed back to the warehouse for a refund as they found plastic pieces reportedly estimated as being in up to 5 millimeters in length in the bags. A whole lot of other food items were on the list, but you guys get the point, right? I think the moral of the story is make sure you always check the food that you buy at the retail grocery stores. I mean, really, the less processed, the better. Am I right? And yeah, watch out for those plastic pieces too. Got to be careful these days, guys. By the way, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There is a link in the description down below this video. Now, another major bit of news before we end this video. They finally found the missing F-35 fighter jet in South California. Now this after calling out to the public for help. Now just imagine the US Air Force having to post on Twitter, hey, can you help me find my missing multi-million-dollar jet? Oh yeah, crazy times we live in, guys. So check this out.
This morning, the Marine Corps breathing a sigh of relief after debris from the $100 million fighter jet was located.
We may or may not have found it. Ground crews are currently searching it. There's not much of it left.
The debris was found some 2 hours northeast of Joint Base Charleston. The jet vanished Sunday afternoon. The pilot of the Marine Corps F-35 safely ejecting near the base after reports of an undisclosed mishap in the cockpit. But there was no sign of the fighter jet, prompting the base to plead with the public on social media. If you have any information that may help our recovery teams locate the F-35, please call the Base Defense Operations Center.
So I just found out apparently the fighter jet that went missing was worth about $100 million, part of a huge $1.7 trillion F-35 program. Now really, when I first heard about this mess, I first thought about Top Gun, you know, fighter jets, Maverick, Tom Cruise. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen Maverick, the latest version of Top Gun, amazing movie. Sidebar. So I read the story of one person who said that the F-35 crashed not far from their homestead. They mentioned how they had seen a huge increase in dogfights overhead, but there has been nothing since the crash. Friends in service also say that there's something seriously wrong, but won't go into the details beyond keep your eyes in the sky if you hear something. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this, and the people that I know who've actually lived near military air bases their whole life, they can tell me they haven't seen it either. I think Representative Nancy Mace, the South Carolina Republican, said it best. How in the hell do you lose a F-35? For one, people are asking, why wasn't there a tracking device in the first place? And two, seriously, they were asking the public to help them find it and maybe turn it in? $1.7 trillion, guys. That is bigger than Australia's whole economy, and they're the 12th largest economy in the world. So the F-35 program, experts call it the most expensive weapons program in US history. And for a country that spends a good portion of its income and debt on its military and is known to have the most advanced fighting force on Earth, that's saying something. So my friends and I were talking and they said something very similar about this. They pointed out how, there's all this legislation that requires that all government military equipment be sourced, built, and assembled in the United States by US companies only. What do you guys think about that? Would it stop huge, costly, and frankly embarrassing mistakes like this from happening? I'm gonna leave that up to you guys.